To get some rest after that great win Tuesday. It was an exciting night. The crowd was terrific. Our team played so well, and now we go into down to Bloomington, where it's one of the more difficult places to win in the league, and we're going to have to play a great game and play much like we did Tuesday night. So, well, we've had 2 days. Really, it was important that guys like Derek and Zach, in particular, get some rest. So we actually had them do nothing for 2 days other than lift weights. They didn't even do a dummy. Usually we do something with them, not even anything. We thought this was a span that we very rarely get these days off to just do nothing. So I think it will be very helpful for both of them, in particular Zach, that he just needs a little bit of a rest. If you look at his stats in the 5 or 6 games prior to he got sick, they were outstanding. He had 20 against Wisconsin. He had 28 another game, and all of a sudden he gets sick and he hasn't bounced back. So I think it's important he just gets some rest and gets better.
Kevin?
Coach Mohamed's kind of found a groove the last few games. Is it a matter of approach he's been taking, or just seeing the shots?
Just the consistent work. You know, we asked all our guys as we got into this league. We basically were very forthright with them where we thought they had to gain strength in, and one of those was his assertiveness, his practice habits. They're not bad. When we talk about our kids not having an edge, or we're not talking about kids that are dogs. We're talking about kids that are just this close to being a much better basketball player. And he's one of those guys. He's got the athleticism to run by everybody, jump over people, guard people, but it's not always as easy for him as it may be for a guy like a Zach Novak, it was the only way to survive. So that's what I think he sees right now. And boy, if I apply all my God-given talents with a little bit more effort, it's never a bad effort, but this like really intense effort, I can be a better player.
Brendan?
After the last game, you're kind of talking about, not knowing when all the shots are going to fall, and they look like they do in the first half the other night. I wonder, how does that kind of impact game planning and on-the-fly decisions in the course of a first half? When you make your first 5 threes and suddenly, now we can do this or that. How do you kind of go about that?
I don't think it impacts us at all. I just think we go with the flow of it. As you can't say, hey, we're on fire, we're going to call this. Now, we would see a guy, we see a guy is really feeling it. But as far as a team thing, we're saying what works and what didn't work. And gradually, if you like say, okay, this is the only way we're going to win, and you just go, we're just going to shoot threes all night, all of a sudden you can get empty real quick. So I don't think there's too much in a game that happens that you just say, okay, this is the way we're going to go, because adjustments are going to be made both ways. So we are a good shooting team. That's never been the big adjustment we had to make. The adjustment is, can we finish possessions at the other end?
And I wonder, as a follow-up, was the first half of that game, I believe 5 of your first 6 shots were inside the arc. Was that design?
No, it was just we had a plan going in there. They had guarded us a certain way, and they did a wonderful job of it up in East Lansing. So we wanted to counter with something else, just a different look, and that different look allowed us to get inside the lane a few times.
Chris?
A couple things with Zach. He only had 5 shots, I think, on Tuesday. Was that how much of that was by design, or was it?
No design.
Yeah.
Just he wasn't open, or he didn't feel like he was open. So once again, we look at his overall numbers. You look at the depth of the bigger picture, the big data on him, and he's a heck of a player. And these last 3 games have been, very disappointing for him. How was his reaction after the game? The first 2 was he went and shot like crazy the next couple of days. Probably good and bad. He probably didn't have some of that. I didn't see him have the bounce. He still never got the bounce back he had as a freshman and sophomore. But I didn't see him have the bounce at all, and I think he's just tired.
And then going in Indiana, obviously he's going to have something to prove.
Yeah.
Play well there. You had a discussion with him about play within your
Well,
system.
yeah, I mean, all are in. Yeah, we grouped that as between Sean and Doc. There's a lot of Indiana connection down there, so that will be more about that, and just make sure that we love to have every senior have those type of, if it's a homecoming, whatever, have a really good game on his home court. But the Indiana will have something to say about that too.
Mark?
On the Muhammad thing, is there, this late in the season, is there some balance there too, where you know that next year, he's gonna have to play a large role, and until the last 2 weeks, he really hasn't?
Yep.
I mean, that you kinda have to balance some of that with like.
Well, we try to do little bits more for him, and he's got a lot of my confidence right now. But basically, it came a lot during his work habits in practice over the last 3 weeks. He's just taken that next step to really work even harder. Like I said, there's never an issue where we're saying, boy, he's not practicing hard. It's just got to practice harder. And so I think we've seen that. But no, he's one of good is the enemy of great, and that's common with many of our team members, that they will have some success and then let back. With him and most young men that play, that is a common enemy. And so his thing for next year will be about finish this year strong, and then I got to have a summer that is absolutely terrific, so I come back an improved player.
And you played the three of them together. We saw in the second half, him and Xavier and Derek, and I think that was the second half altogether.
I don't remember doing that, but
It was a brief period.
yeah, I might have. Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
must have been
that's
for a
pretty
very
unusual.
brief period. Yeah, I think we were running such a simplified offense we could do. It was really simple, and we just.
That's not
put guys
really
in.
an option going forward.
No, it could be. It's a good idea. I'm glad you brought it up. If it works, it's really good.
Salary.
John?
You talked about edge. Obviously, Derek played with a lot of passion in that game. But what did you see on video from Mo in that regard?
You know, Mo has always competed. Sometimes the competing is interpreted differently, right? That he may be trying to do things that he can't, like swinging and missing on passes he can't possibly deny, so to give the guy another layup. Or give help where he doesn't need to help at all, or deny where he doesn't need to deny. Putting it all together is the thing. But he's really, he practices hard. He loves the game, and he loves competing against people. He loves that give and take of it. So I think that now and in the years to come, that he's going to have some real rivals at other schools about who he's guarded many times. It's really going to be interesting. It's going to be fun because you all know he's just a terrific kid. He's just a terrific kid to coach, and it has nothing mean about him other than he likes to compete.
James?
You mentioned how hard it is to win in Bloomington. I think you guys have lost your past 6 meetings there. What is
You're
it
on
about
the numbers, man. I love the way you do your history,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
What is it about that venue or that atmosphere that makes it such?
They've had really, really good teams. They have had really good teams. We took Trey Burke, and we took Nick Stauskas, and we took some really good teams on. Those were probably our worst losses, is when we had our best teams. It's a terrific place to play. Have you ever been there? It's straight up and down. It is very loud. They do a tremendous job from an atmosphere point of view, choreographed and just student support. And you better play a really good basketball team there. And very few teams have come in there, whether it was whoever was coaching there, and get a W. So it's as you coach here longer and longer, we've got to win every place on the road. But that's one that is a tough place to win. So I think we've got a couple last-second losses, maybe last-minute losses, but our best teams had no chance down there. They were down early and really had trouble doing anything.